Good afternoon, I'm Daniel Miller and this is Destiny Academy. A warm welcome to all of our friends, fans, community members, participants, gamers and viewers worldwide on a variety of different platforms. Thank you for joining us and thank you for being very dedicated and valued community members. First of all, thank you for supporting the channel and indeed providing us with all the information and additional support for the campaign that is our fundraising campaign for the Mind Charity UK, and your responses have been absolutely astonishing across the different platforms. I'm very grateful to everyone who participated and who was indeed interested in contributing. We've not received any donations as yet, but I have seen other people liking the postings, sharing them, providing us with some comments, suggesting where such campaign can be promoted, and I'm very grateful to you all for doing that and for supporting all that are here. As you know, we are supporting the Mind Charity UK at present, but we are also going to be embracing some other ones which I talked about last week. So, you know, the actual first week of our formal campaign has been truly wonderful. I had lots of information from the charity directly, and I've had several people who work for them who have been in contact, who watched our streams and contributed by posting emails and various other tweets, and you know, it's been just an absolutely truly wonderful experience. I think we got it off on a very good start, and this is just the very beginning. The campaign is fairly lengthy, it will be for 6 months, and surely if we all join forces worldwide, we are going to be able to raise the revenue. It's £1,000 which I'm trying to raise for this charity, and just to put it in perspective, the Mind provides services for individuals and groups who are experiencing some form of mental health problem or emotional difficulty, and they run a variety of different services which are community based around the country, and they're serviced by their professionals and volunteers, and they provide services literally 24/7, 7 days a week. So really a charity that is absolutely fundamental to our well-being and the health of our local community, and I had liaised and worked with them over the years in various capacities, but at the moment, at present, I'm trying to connect the gaming world with the notion of us supporting the mental health and also being the force of good, providing some sort of united response to what appears to be one of the greatest needs of our community. Because in Britain there are three different issues which are plaguing our local communities. Number one is the cost of living, and that consequently is affecting the mental health of many people. Secondly, it's the problem of housing. We have huge problems with people finding flats or somewhere to live. That includes renting as well as purchasing, and it's been probably at its worst ever since I've known it. And the third problem is, which is attached to the three of them, simply the question of being able to retain your property, meaning you are always being threatened by homelessness, and that is again another area that is being deeply affected. And we have several charities. Shelter is the one that we support, that are working with people who are experiencing that sort of threat, or indeed have gone through the actual experience of homelessness due to those circumstances. So we have cost of living, we have that affecting the mental health, and then housing. All of those three are connected, and that's really sadly what is plaguing our people in the UK, in Britain, and I'm trying to do my utmost best from what I can here on a variety of different online platforms to raise the profile, first of all, for everyone to become aware that this is a serious problem. So this is not something that is passable or minute. It's affecting millions and millions of people, and irrespective of what you hear on the news, when they talk about our economy and the revenue, the shares and investments, experienced by the ordinary people is something else. And this is what we are trying to raise here on this platform, without any form of judgment, without any form of blame. We're not trying to point fingers saying these people had created it. This is the situation as it stands today. That is the way it is, and we have got to unite to provide the remedy, because in the long term, those three negative forces combined will destroy very many lives. And sadly, I have seen such lives destroyed over my career in very different circumstances. But I do not want to see that sort of development on a grander mass scale, which indeed will be absolutely devastating, and that following the trail of that devastating pandemic and all that came together with it, the lockdown, the problems with being able to go out, the worry about contracting the virus, losing your family members, losing friends and associates, you know it all. It's been absolutely dreadful. So principally what we are indeed wanted to do here, and I'm very grateful to our community members for already supporting it. When I say doing it at the moment is more like a pioneering project, because I want to see what type of response we'll be getting from the gaming community overall. So it's not just our community member here on the channel and people who are involved with Destiny gameplay, but everybody else, because don't forget when you put hashtags on Instagram, on Twitter and various other platforms, they're instantly accessible to various search engines. And incidentally, I did have messages coming in from people who are non-followers, people who not watch the channel, people who don't know anything about our Destiny community, but they're interested about this gaming for mental health. So they're curious with hashtag gaming for mental health. I'm particularly seeing it coming from Britain, where I think that's not been that widely supported. I mean, America, many different associations and charities and user groups who are running such forums, but in the UK I've seen that to be pretty slim. But maybe I'm mistaken. If you obviously know of other charities, associations or groups who are actually running it in Britain, please tell me and send me messages that will direct me to the right source, because I'm indeed interested to find out, and I want to really be connected to those, particularly if they had some successful charitable fundraising campaigns or any other movements which were bringing the benefit to the lives of very many. Coming back to the responses from the wider community, I'm truly encouraged and certainly delighted to see that people had asked questions purely because they've seen the postings through hashtag, and they're not members of our community, they're not watching our streams, but they wanted to know a lot more about what does this mean, gamers for mental health. What is the way to which gamers can actually support mental health overall? This is going to be a topic that I will be discussing extensively here over an extended period of time, and we'll be able to find different means to which people can get involved. But I think just today we are running a shorter stream as it's the beginning of the week, and I will be doing quite a bit of gameplay in Destiny 1 here today on Monday. So I'll just give you snippets of news and a few of those responses coming from our community, and then we'll crack on with some action. I can see some people already queuing up here to watch some of the gameplay, but I mean, I've got to really just tell everyone that we are here to be talking about these very important issues that are affecting our community. This channel is very much sort of socially aware, and we are not a channel that's training people to do esports or competitions or anything like this. It's all about having fun, supporting others, and actually providing space and time for people who are perhaps alienated, lonely, or feeling vulnerable to get entertained, to feel that they're fully included and that they find new friends. So that's the purpose of this channel. And Destiny as a game had been providing us with a wonderful opportunity for many people to join and unite forces from different corners of the planet. In fact, in the course of this week, last week I should say, we've had the new beginning of our season of the streams called Destiny Academy now, instead of just Destiny streams on DLB Miller channel, DLB Miller Live. And we have seen people joining us from Australia, from New Zealand, from South Africa, from Spain, from Portugal and Italy. These are our new members, and I'm delighted to see that our community is truly global. Also, the game being cross-platform, we can get people to come in, particularly in the sequel. Obviously this one is not Destiny 1, but still hugely loved and followed by so many different people. And so it's a fantastic opportunity, first of all, to find your friends, to talk about the game and everything that is gaming industry related. On the other hand, we can talk about these very important social issues, which indeed I already described, and other people are more than prepared to discuss what the situation is like in their own country or in their own environment, irrespective of where they are. So it's very, very important to keep this in mind. If anybody comes here to do speed runs or hammer the game, etc., well, you will be very disappointed because we simply don't do that here. Right, so what were the questions? I mean, the questions were really, what brought you to the campaign? Like, why are you doing it? I mean, where did you get the idea? Well, I mean, it's quite simple. I'm a senior mental health professional and I've worked within the field for quite some time. And I think the online comms, and specifically Twitch and YouTube streaming, which is almost like a new form of communication, which has been established in the last 6 or 7 years, is a new form through which people can provide everything, you know, and that literally is everything from providing entertainment with others in order to play games to doing something very good, as we've seen. Some of the biggest streamers were involving other community members in various charitable streams to which they were collecting revenue for the vulnerable members of their own community. And so the capacity for the online gamers community to do something which is right and proper, noble, and something that will initiate a change in other people's lives is almost sky high, or I should say infinite. But it's all down to the participants, and I've been fascinated by that, not just during the last 5 or 6 years, but generally since the appearance of online forums, because I can see how, for instance, the swing from one extreme to another. We have seen, for instance, during the pandemic, there were lots of online forums helping, supporting those affected by COVID, but also we've seen many people joining forces in order to do ranting and produce aggressive content, which actually didn't help anyone. It was just, you know, literally like asking for riot, and I'm very much against that, and I think it needs to be much better policed and moderated to what we've seen in the last decade. But you know, all of that will follow. These are very new forums, and we'll have a lot more regulation and a lot more of that applied. Coming back to it, that is the idea. The idea is that I'm combining, first of all, my professional background with my passion for graphic arts, graphic novels, animated films, video games, all of them together within this form of interactive community, and that is the basis, you know. Like, for instance, if you watched the Xbox showcase the other day, one of the executives, Sarah Bond, said, well, video gaming today is the most powerful communication that exists on Earth, and that's true. Because, you know, during the pandemic, from 2 billion gamers, the community increased to 4 billion, and even those people who perhaps a bit apprehensive about video games, people who are not really fully involved in the past, they kind of realized it isn't just about doing the games, but it's all about the community. It's about doing Destinies and Elder Scrolls and, you know, other games of this world where you meet others and you have a lot of fun and you discover new friends, you create new bonds, and the game is just the means to which you make these connections, right? And I think that's very important to explain to those people who are not associated with our communities, because there is still this very negative aura of the video gaming world within some of the media, and you get people who write on the state of play, and they come up with very negative ideas that the games are stimulating violence and misbehavior amongst the adolescents and people carrying weapons and, you know, all sorts. I mean, it's complete nonsense. It's got absolutely no bearing to anything which is real, tangible, you know, empirical, based on any form of analysis and statistics. I've given you recently the rundown on what the Japanese were doing with PlayStation gamers for about 25 years. They actually followed and analyzed and tested children as young as 2 or 3, and their whole development cycle from the age of 2 or 3 to about 30, and they have come with some very, very good stats, you know. So it's very worthwhile for some of those people who write such nonsense to read the stats and find out what the pros and cons of video gaming really are. Coming back to the question coming from Twitter, so the idea is to unite my sort of professional background and my passions and interests with our community, and that we do something which will produce that degree of benefit in a wider community. We have seen lots of benefits here from the participation of some of our community members who otherwise are fairly isolated and alienated and feeling under the weather. So that wasn't really based on this community, right? But if you think about the charity, the Mind UK, right? The charity is providing services for people countrywide. We have about 70 million people residing and living in the UK. and anyone can approach them at any time. And this is professional services where people do not just focus on social therapy or entertainment and social interactions. They really work in depth with those psychological problems which are attacking those people's lives. And as I said, presently, sadly, many people are affected by the cost of living, which affects, first of all, their ability to buy things and do things, which includes going out and paying subscriptions, etc. Then there's the threat of homelessness, which is unbelievably anxiety inducing. And then there is the issues to do with mental health, which is actually kind of collateral of those other two. Not everyone is biologically built to be strong enough to tackle any form of ill, and we've seen that in life in general, and that's tragic, but that's just the fact of life. That's the way we are. And sadly, some people are more susceptible, more vulnerable to the effects of high levels of stress. They can manifest themselves in all sorts of ways. A person does not have to become seriously mentally ill or psychologically imbalanced, but they can actually develop physical diseases. And that's yet another tragedy, because we want to have that fully remedied, and we're absolutely devastated to learn that indeed these things are taking place, because they are, they're human-made, a bit like the global warming, which we talk about quite frequently, and it is something that we as people are contributing towards. So we need to really kind of sit back, think about it, and do something that will indeed be preventing that sort of collateral. We need to sort of try to get our forces together in order to create this world to be a better place for everyone, right? That's basically the most important part of our human endeavor, instead of doing it to be the worst place for everyone. And unfortunately, some people have got biological, genetic propensity towards that too. It's sad, but true. And we have seen that in many different circumstances. Wouldn't really spend time describing it here, but you will obviously know what I mean. So that's probably the shortest possible answer which I can provide in a nutshell. And I thank our community members who are asking this. And then somebody also asked, well, how well do you have this developed in the UK? Well, as I said earlier, I'm not 100% sure whether we have many streamers doing something similar. I've not come across many, I've got to admit, and I'm pretty well versed in the world of news and streams and all that. So I would have come across that on Twitter in particular, if not by people who would contact me personally and directly. But I've seen in other countries, particularly in the US and Canada, that being of huge significance, with lots of people. We have new followers. I can see that Beltazar is following us. Well, thank you very much, Beltazar, for following us. I really, truly appreciate it. And thank you very much for joining our community and being here with us today. We are getting new members every single day. As I said, we have just resumed with our new season of streams here of Destiny 1 and 2. And people coming from all parts of the world. We had people from New Zealand, from Australia, from Portugal, from Italy, South Africa. So thank you for joining us, and hope you will enjoy our community and all that we do here. Yeah, coming back to it, I was just saying that I've not come across many other streamers supporting mental health or doing gamers for mental health. Got to say, I'm surprised to get so many responses from the Mind, as they have a department that deals with specifically fundraising through online activities. And that's truly wonderful, because I think some people possibly are supporting Mind on Instagram as well, which is what I'm doing. If you access my Daniel Miller Gaming or Film Dialogue hubs, you would have seen it already supported Mind throughout the whole year. And it was also a bit of an experiment. I wanted to find out how it worked, and wanted to be more involved. So coming back to the question coming from Twitter, yes, I have seen some people doing it on the global scale. Not seen that many people doing it in Britain. I don't think it is as well developed as it should be, and it is still at its sort of very, very initial stage in the grassroots level. But we can use the platforms like Tiltify, which I'm using through Stream Elements, in order to raise funds. And Tiltify had done absolutely miraculous, fantastic work in order to elevate the quality of what they're offering for the fundraisers. So it's very much blending in with the mindset of gaming community, and you have milestones, you have quizzes and polls, you have rewards. So for instance, we have here £1,000. The target is, yeah. So we are to be raising £1,000 for Mind. I mean, that's, we don't have. We are hoping to reach the target, but obviously people donate a lot less. It's all good and fine. But every single 100, so 100, 2, 3, 4, will be a milestone, and every single milestone has like a quiz and poll attached to it, and that quiz and poll is connected to a special community-based event here on a live stream. So I know that our community members absolutely love raiding, and I've had so many requests previously to do raids continuously, which I declined. The reason is simple. Raids are very competitive, and you get lots of competitive gamers coming in, which is not gelling in too well with the ethos of this channel. But in order to support the fundraising, we are going to have such events where we are going to be hammering the raids, right? So it's the raids, the Crucible competitions, which we are going to be creating, and some serious Nightfall strikes. So every single time we reach that pinnacle, that milestone level, we are going to be having a quiz. The quiz is going to be decided on what we are going to be doing, i.e. what kind of gear we'll be wearing, and what sort of weapons are to be used in a particular raid, etc., in order to reach the very best results. And then the raids indeed will be here presented in that community-based forum. And in that forum, we are going to have people who are donating. This is like a reward, as well as our community members and veterans, both participating and watching. So I really look forward to this, because it's a step up to what we've done in the past. I mean, it's sort of bringing in things together, but it's more structured. And I'm very excited about it, and I really look forward to both the donations and the new participants. What was the other question? Yeah, the other question was about our Destiny streams, and somebody was asking, I've seen that on our Twitch chat as well. The question was, well, are you going to be streaming Destiny 2 a bit more? Well, I will, and I will be streaming it. The difficulty here is that Destiny 2 does not get picked up by Twitch algorithm, They have people who are hammering the game and who are professional Destiny streamers, and they basically, the algorithm that is providing people with information on who's watching the channel goes always to those people. So for the smaller streamers like myself, despite the fact I've been streaming already for 5 years, the algorithm doesn't pick up anyone. The traffic doesn't get diverted to the channel doesn't get picked up, doesn't have any form of promotion through Twitch algorithms. And that is a serious issue if you're looking at the fundraising campaign and generating the revenue in order to support charities. So I think we'll stick to Destiny 1 to the greatest possible extent, and then we are going to have like add-ons with Destiny 2, and that will be for the seasonal content and for doing certain missions together. And what I'll do is I'll always have Destiny stream first, and then we'll migrate, so we can get some people from Destiny 1 category on Twitch to watch and participate in Destiny 2. Otherwise, I don't like solitary gaming, and I had actually a short Destiny 2 stream on Saturday, which was like an add-on to Destiny 1. And it's very difficult to complete some of the tasks all by yourself, because they've been created for a group of 3 or a group of 6. It just didn't seem like much fun, and obviously nobody would have come in for that. And it's just the reality of it. We have to adjust what we stream accordingly, and I personally would prefer to be streaming Destiny 2, because Destiny, the sequel, has a huge amount of content, and it provides a phenomenal opportunity for a massive community engagement. But I've got to say, I've not been able to do that within the last 5 years on the channel. Destiny 2 was not bringing in that degree of interaction compared to the original, and the reason for that is not at all connected to anyone in our community. It's all connected to the algorithm, because people don't get notifications. We are not being promoted within Twitch categories in a way that would expose us to the newcomers. So it will be just open to those who are our community members, and also people who left the alerts fully switched on. And then most people switch off the alerts because they could be annoying if you have lots of people who you follow, constantly coming in on your smartphone feeds. And so it's a bit of a tricky situation. If we get picked up by anyone who's going to be promoting our Destiny 2 streams, then it's a different story, but that's not happened. Right. that's probably all I've had from our community. The news generally presently are still linked to the big festival of the last weekend, which is the Summer Games Festival run by Jeff Keighley and his team. And all that we are hearing at the moment is basically like a post showcase type of comments and views and expectations. So the three big areas of that are linked to first of all Starfield, Final Fantasy, and there's a lot of speculation about Prince of Persia. I've seen also some comments about Avowed, because for whatever reason, people who are associated with kind of Obsidian game community, they've been very negative about what they've seen, and the developer has been assuring people that this was just a very short clip done for the festival. This was not at all linked with the alpha, which is going to be extensive as well as beta. There will be a lot of time for things to be improved, to be looked at, but the game is very far from finished, and all of that indeed is very, very reassuring. So lots of people tend to jump the gun. It's just the way things are today. Everyone's expecting information to come in immediately, and I'm a person who's seen the other world where this was not possible, and where we had to wait for months to receive a letter from the US or from any other country. We need to be a bit more patient and a bit more reasonable when it comes to this. These games are being presented at festivals and conventions because they're brand new, and they are trying to attract US followers and people who will be participating in the future. Some games are very far from finished, which obviously is not the case with the big blockbusters like, for instance, Star Wars Outlaws and Starfield. These games are just about to be finished. Perhaps they even finished, but they're testing them technically, and so they could present a lot more content. And it's a different sort of story with a game that's just about to be released, or that is ready for a release but is still being worked on in order to assure that there are no glitches, it's technically fully functional and all else. So a lot of questions about Prince of Persia and Avowed. Avowed was probably displeasing some people visually, and what I picked up from various news and threads was that everybody was just very unhappy with Obsidian taking a slightly different stance to what they expected, and that's frequently the case with all games. If you have you've seen with Halo Community the unhappiness about this sort of open world concept introduced with Halo Infinite, and the fact people just want the old concept fully back. For a game that's been out for 20 years, it's unrealistic. It is not going to be attracting newcomers and people to come in, because it's been seen many times, and the fact is that some of the gameplay is not as attractive to the newcomers if you just keep it to the same concept. So obviously they have to branch out and try different things and retain some of the old, which indeed has been retained with Halo within the PvP and multiplayer maps. But the gamers can be impatient. The gamers may want sometimes other things, and that is what's been definitely this week in response to Avowed, and also to Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia was a different story. People kind of quite liked it visually. With the sounds, it just seemed completely divorced from the tradition or the way the game was in the past. So why on earth would you have Prince of Persia taking place in that universe, which is going back 26 years, and using most contemporary music? Well, I can tell you why. Because they will try to monetize. They will want to monetize some of the music. It's similar to what we've seen in games like Fortnite or Apex, and it's just part and parcel of this, and it obviously was not well received. They are fully aware of it, and they'll change it. They will not allow that to be ruining the release of the game. There's a lot of discussion about Starfield, and some displeasure about the 60 FPS being reduced to 30. A lot of people are very concerned that perhaps there is also an indication that the game perhaps will not work cross-platform too well. Well, we'll have to see. Bethesda had delivered in the past fantastic games, and I think they would be extremely careful after what's happened with Redfall recently, which wasn't done by them. It was published through Bethesda. It was Arcane Studios that worked on it. They'll be careful not to release a game before it's fully ready, and they don't want to allow anything that could be seen as a mishap or interfering with the actual day one release. These things can be change in the future. There can be changing things for the better, as we've seen with Mass Effect, for instance. Obviously, very old game, but when you play the Legendary Edition, and if you're a veteran and if you completed the trilogy, it's just taking it to a different world. It is incredible. You get the full content, all the DLCs and everything else, in addition to beautiful graphics and all else that has been most remarkable. And it just, revitalized, it's sort of rejuvenated, resurrected, and it just feels like a really completely different type of title, something which is, I wouldn't say next gen, but definitely very contemporary and blending in perfectly well with the majority of other games. So these are the facts, and there are options for the games to be improved. The other thing that we've seen is huge displeasure about Cyberpunk initially, and during the festival we've seen the new DLC, which is going to be massive, and it will change the game. So similar to what we had in Destiny with the Taken King, it's just changed the game altogether. There will be different endings, there will be different characters, there will be different additions to the map, so everyone's very curious. And Keanu Reeves was there interviewed, and he didn't really want to give away much, and he was just literally giving us a rundown on what the game means to him and how he finds himself. It's a very difficult to de-roll, as I wasn't sure whether that was a staged act or whether he really had a difficulty in de-rolling, because he didn't really look like himself. He was Johnny in that interview, which could be also a very, very good marketing trick that indeed he was prepared to deliver. Very one thing to say, it's a very unsuccessful release of that highly anticipated game at the time, even so much that the game was discontinued from PlayStation altogether. Nobody could buy it for quite some time on PlayStation because it didn't work on PlayStation at all. Millions of technical problems. But after some time, the game had been reworked, and it began to work properly on all platforms. And it's one of those visually most attractive games of the recent times. If you are on Twitter and if you follow the gaming world, have you seen how many virtual photographers you got there? People who are either taking photographs from the game, or they're doing cosplay according or modeling themselves, to the characters which feature in Cyberpunk. Is just absolutely incredible. I think Skyrim, probably another game within the last 20 years that of interest within that sort of visual front, and this is a huge asset which will ensure the longevity of the game 100%, and I'm very excited personally to see that. Also the new DLC that's been introduced, as I said, will change the structure of the game. I'm telling you this because lots of people are complaining that the games like Redfall, or in the near future when Starfield comes out, well, they just remain within that format because it's a single player game. Redfall obviously is a multiplayer one, but Starfield is a single player game. But that's not the case. They can alter and change many things within the game. You needn't worry. The updates today can create miracles, and so all these worries are based on expectations and a fear that perhaps things are not going to be as good as described. But we did hear from several people who were given the privilege of being able to play Starfield initially for a couple of hours that the game is fantastic, and really within the first 2 hours, there's the chap who runs Unlocked on IGN. Unlocked is a weekly podcast, and he indicated that there was so many things to look at. There were so many things to do in terms of customization and looking around that he didn't do anything. He was in there, and then he couldn't do a thing. He actually didn't play the game. He was playing it, but just doing the customization, looking at bits and pieces. So he said that the quantity of initial content is mind-boggling. So I'm excited about that, but I'm also wondering whether that will be attractive to everyone. That some people just leave everything on autopilot. Customization, I don't want to do it. Just let the machine do it. And the whole beauty of being able to create your own ship, your own vehicle, your own flat, your own character, your own armor, is in yourself becoming that person, that character, that environment, that vehicle. You can do everything. You can make it tailored to your needs, to your vanity, to the way you want things to be. You're actually creating your own world within a game. And I would just like to invite all of our community members and everyone who does such games to do it. Because what's the point of these developers spending so many hours or so many months and years trying to make it as customizable as possible for people just to ignore it. I always enjoy it. I always try to make characters whether look on me, like me, based on me, or I'll be looking at the characters who are sort of modelled on someone who I quite like, right? And in some games I play female characters, and therefore these females will be modelled on somebody who I actually know in real life. And there has been a situation where a specific person discovered that they looked exactly the same, and they were very, very happy. I'm not saying that everyone would be, but I've never had any problems with this, and obviously I never named them accordingly. You know, they just looked like somebody else or not. But that's the benefit of being involved with such games that have that degree of customization, and I just recommend everyone to do it. The other big thing is all about Diablo. You know, they had this problem that maybe some people will be able to reach the level 100 on hardcore level as quickly as possible because they started early. And there was a huge hoo-ha on Reddit and Twitter that this is unfair, it's outflanking some people, some players, gamers will be more powerful too early, etc, etc. The stats indicate that no one's reached it. So, you know, that tells you that the thinking behind it was make it extremely difficult, so the vast majority of people, irrespective of when it started, will not be able to complete it quick enough. And I think that's really the best value of it. Because if you wanted to do it on hardcore or insane level, it has got to be that difficult, because it's, you know, it's called insane with a purpose in mind. And you know, I don't really enjoy these kinds of insanity difficulty levels if I'm doing it by myself, like in a single player. That's definitely not my jazz. I like going through the story, exploring the environment, talking to characters. That's my jazz. But you know, some people enjoy it. I talked the other day about some of my colleagues who are friends, associates, who enjoy playing Minecraft on that sort of survival level, or Path of Exile, and then to play and play them, they must not be killed, they must not die, because if they die, they lose the whole game. There's no saving there, you know, it's just like where you are. Just definitely not for me. I like collecting, and I like building, and I like going through the game, and I like finishing the game if possible, for the games where, you know, this is obviously the ultimate task, completing it rather than starting out, leaving it, you know. And the whole frustration, if you've done it for a couple of years and get killed, you lost all the progress, it must be immensely frustrating. I mean, I watched a small documentary on the BBC recently, and the chap actually required some psychological professional services because he was absolutely distraught. He was how to put it, the game was giving so much joy by being able to survive for so long, but then once he died, he was emotionally totally affected, you know, and he couldn't find a way out. He asked, you know, obviously he asked for help, and I think that's really pushing it too hard. That's not the reason as to why the games have been created. It's a challenge. It's something to provide entertainment. One shouldn't really take it with that degree of seriousness, and you know, it's very important to keep this in mind as well. That's all the news. That's all of our community content. We are going to crack on with some activity in Destiny 1. So without further ado, let's just crack on, boys. Very grateful to our friend. That's really great. Thank you for joining us. Very, very grateful. Very good to see that we are getting new people from different parts of the world, and very encouraged also to see that many people are fundraising campaign in our community. So that's really really good. Obviously, in view of the fact I've not been streaming much during the last 8 months, and frequently the community is just dispersed, but we obviously are very connected with everyone who loves Destiny and video gaming, and people still appreciate some of my comments and views, so that's very, very great to hear and see. And hashtag through Twitter support, hashtag Gamers for Mental Health. That's you know, that's just really what makes me feel very, very enthusiastic, elated, forward-thinking, and overall very, very happy. Right, so what we usually do is we go to the tower, but I bet you if I try to go to the tower, the Eracoid Beaver is not going to allow me to go in, unless they sorted it already. We'll see. I'm wondering if Sekapupu is watching us. Sekapupu, are you watching the stream? Do you want to join us? because I'd really like somebody to come in and we'll do a few things together. So if you are watching, then just tell us whether you're there, and then I can bring you in. The beautiful skies. We are about to land. Can't really go to the tower. We'll go to the reef, and then we'll pick up everything there. Let me just see how many bounties I've got still. There should be a few. Yeah. Not completed the Nightfall bounty. We were a bit late with the destruction of the boss, and the reason for that is simple. We've not played that Nightfall for some time, and being a 2-piece in an activity that's been designed for 3-piece is difficult. Oh, it looks to have resolved the problem. Right, so that's pretty good. It's taken them a while. What have I got here to resolve admin-wise? Let's see. Got any new weapons or anything? No, it all looks fine. I think I've done all the engrams have been completed, so that's fine. Let's see if there are any. Not many leftovers. Not gonna bother with these at the moment, I don't think. Thank you. I certainly shall try. Nah, Cordova is absolutely useless. I mean, it's useful if you are leveling up here, but if you are 4400, it's just immediately to be ditched. I'll get some bounties from our friend, and then we'll do some Seavers. I think the activities that were popular last week were Seavers and Prison of Elders. And I've got to say, I've not played Prison of Elders as much overall, so that's been quite refreshing. So Seavers, and I think now we are full. Okay, that's fine, and we'll quickly check. I've not read what the task was, and we'll have melee attacks, any weapon, rapid, heavy weapon, 30. Okay, so that's not weapon specific. Look at him there. Come on, we'll just try something. Didn't work here, but I did manage to get up there the other day.
Must be something important.
Ah, let's say that that's featured.
You know how to get
No, I'm not interested in posting anything. No, that won't work. I think Sega will tell us how to get up there once it comes in. I forgot to ask, how is everybody? Are you guys playing any games in addition to Destiny? What's on your decks at the moment? You playing Diablo? You playing Redfall? Are you playing any of the other recent releases? Are you doing maybe some of the betas and demos they introduced, like Lies of P or Final Fantasy or any other ones? I'd be curious to hear, because I've not downloaded anything yet. I've been so immersed in the new stream and all that comes together with it, so I'm just, you know, really spending all my time thinking, writing and building what we're doing in here. But I will download the other demos, and also I've had some other things to do outside of my stream here, and that's been sort of delaying me exploring those wonderful new titles. And there are quite a few that were offered. Some are for consoles or PCs, and others are for our smartphones. So if you are interested, you can just download them and try. Two of those for smartphones are Final Fantasy and also It's the Division, and the third one is Assassin's Creed. So make sure that you either download or keep an eye out on the date when the downloadability indeed will begin. Alright, so we need to go to orbit and then we'll crack on with some Sivas. Our friend here is asking, Stardust, hello, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us and thank you for being a very valid member of our community. Our friend is asking, have you played Elden Ring? I have not. In fact, I have got it at the very top of my list, and I was nearly purchasing it a few months ago on Xbox, but there were some other issues and therefore I failed to complete. And very interested in the game, and certainly a game that's attracting a lot of community members, lots of followers, and lots of regular gamers and players, and it looks very appetizing. I think a lot of people who like Elder Scrolls, they gravitated towards Elden Ring. If you play the game, perhaps you can tell us a bit about what the game is like. It's very interesting to hear. And if you enjoyed it, what you find to be the most interesting, or what the pinnacle activities are there. You've had very good trailers, and the reviews and overall community response have been very good. Lots of anticipation about Elden Ring as well, and well, the beauty and the difficulty at the same time of today is that we've got so many titles on offer, and I use streaming services on PlayStation and Xbox, which gives me access to 1,000 titles, and I quickly skim through some of them, you know, when they get first introduced, and I try them, but there isn't time if you're a streamer to play lots of different games, especially if you are getting involved with you know, the very big ones, AAA blockbusters like Mass Effect Legendary, or I don't know, Redfall, or any of those that require attention, dedication, Skyrim for instance, or even if you're doing Destiny 2 or Elder Scrolls Online. So when I don't stream, I try many games and I play some of them, and discovered just the other day a fantastic game on Xbox, which is part of their ID section, which stands for independent. Our friend says Elden Ring is truly amazing. The boss fights are great, the story is amazing, and combat is very good too. Love to see you stream, and I'm playing it at the moment. You know, I would have to try the game first, get a bit sort of knowledgeable about it before I would do any streams, but like you said, there's always a possibility for all of us to be running specific community events. What's this? I'm being booted. Error code baboon. We didn't get that code, the error code, as we were landing at the tower, but now we're getting it. Anyway, look at this. Error code baboon killed me. Now I'm alive. Actually, through no fault of my own. I didn't do anything. Coming back to our friends, we are going to be running special community-based events, like I mentioned. Some will be tied in with our campaign, which is the charitable fundraising campaign, and then our community members will suggest what to do. You know, what is the preferred activity, because the channel's basically aligned with Destiny, and I stream also at Warzone and Apex as the games that are quite similar and different to what we have here. And you know, we'll just basically decide on what games we want to be doing, what games we want to have introduced here on the channel, and also for people to see, you know, what the games are like. It's a fantastic opportunity. You would have seen with some bigger gamers, they'll have like one game that they're attached to, I don't know, PUBG or Warzone or Counter-Strike, and then from time to time they'll run their own community events in order to provide that degree of variety. Like I said, Elden Ring has been very popular, and indeed it has been well embraced by the gaming community. I've not really read a bad review. I mean, there were some concerns initially on day one, but some minor technical issues, but you know, all of that's been resolved. And like I said, one of the biggest excitements that people had was really kind of linked to the bosses and the boss fight. That was the main thing. Our friends here, let's see. We'll join him. We'll go together with him. Okay, I'll come with you. That's right. Let's go. Yes, just as I said, the beauty of it all is that we have so many different titles on offer, but then if you are playing Elden Ring, or if you're doing Skyrim, or if you're doing Mass Effect, or Gears 5, or Anthem, for instance, they're massive games that take hundreds of hours to complete, and generally it's always enjoyable to be completing. So for myself, let's 30 seconds, going together with him. So for me that poses a challenge, you know. Oh, still there. Yeah, right. Okay. Guess we need to go in, right? Just getting busy with other ads out there. Is our friend going to join us? Come on. I think he's just patrolling, having a look around, discovering everything for himself. It's most likely. I tell you what I do is I look up every single week what's new on PlayStation Plus and also on Xbox. Xbox is introducing games to the Game Pass compared to PlayStation, monthly rotating. And then I look at the list and I try everything through the cloud services in order to get a flavour of what the game's like. And I take notes, you know, I kind of write notes indicating this game's interesting, this one is, you know, so and so. And then I will obviously select some games that are of huge interest to me, and I'll have one big RPG always attached to my list. And then in addition to that RPG that will require maybe 150 to 100 hours of gameplay, I'll have a smaller indie game that's short, easily playable, can be completed maybe in a weekend. And then in addition to that I have one PvP, and that PvP will be either Apex or Warzone, or one of those games. And that's it. I've got no time, or there's no space for anything else. In addition to that, I'll play Destiny. Look at that. I forgot that I have synths, so I need to use these synths immediately. And that's for my super, for my heavy. No. Well, I was a bit late. I really should have used the synth earlier. Yeah, I was just saying to our friend that because I play Destiny, then obviously Destiny takes up a bit of time, and that's the sequel. This game I stream. So, oh, this one we need to destroy. Hang on. Yeah, so it's all about time, isn't it, when you think about it? I just think that if you're an avid gamer, you've got to have a system of strategy for which you're able to both play, enjoy, and not feel pressurized that you're missing out on something, or you've done something too long, that sort of thing. Because you know what, the games are going to stay there for a long while, and there is no harm in doing the game at some other time but the day one. And some people enjoy doing games on day one. We've seen in the past, before we had all the streaming services fully established. Look at this. I was trying to revive my friends. Yeah, in the past, before we had the streaming services fully established, people would go to video game shops, you know, and then queue up 24 hours in advance before the game is released. And, you know, that's amazing. And that's what people are doing. Well, there is this excitement and that joy that you are one of the first people to play the game, and with preloading and, you know, digital purchases, the whole history of queuing up in life has gone. We don't have it anymore. Maybe for some conventions, but generally people are not going to be queuing up to get a physical product before midnight. You know, it's just something that's been sent to the past. But you know, it does have its own exciting social elements, similar to when you were going to gigs and then queue up and wait for paper tickets, and you always met somebody there. It was always interesting. There's some serious enemies down there. Well, picked up some heavy ammunition. Look at him. He is gone. It's funny because I've gone to a mission on... Was it in Mars? I think it was. Or was it at the reef? No, it was on Mars, yeah. And it turned out to be very difficult to complete by myself. I've not played it for quite some time. It's Echoes of Oryx that need to be eliminated, and they delivered it on the very hard difficulty level. So I thought, well, let's just have a bit of challenge. But I didn't succeed, I'm afraid. I was unsuccessful. There was always something that eliminated me. It was either the big bad wolf, or it was the flames above me, or there was something else. And eventually I called it a day. Yeah, coming back to what we said, you know, people preload and play the big games straight away on day one, literally from midnight, and there is this excitement of being able to try it as early as possible. It doesn't have to be like that. The games are going to stay there. I mean, I remember the launch of Gears 5 here in the UK was done in a way which, for me, was quite surprising. They had... Oh, that worked. Okay. Well, we all expected Gears 5 to be launched at the new Microsoft store in London, which was just opening for the first time a couple of months beforehand, and they decided to run the showcase in Shoreditch, in a place which is sort of semi-obscure. So it was a successful launch. And I think people were not that pleased with the release on day one, but you would have seen, you know, in no time, as they changed the things within the game, that was like a huge response from the community. People just loved it. They thought it was amazing, and so we need to be a bit patient, you know. We need to be a bit more understanding of any issues that come up. Yeah, this was our last week's Nightfall strike, wasn't it? Let's just attack those scions first. Somebody needs to join me. Come on. The other chap needs to be together with me. Works the best if we strike that scion all at once. Yep, that worked. Good. Where's the other one? Here. Okay, good. Where's the last one? Oh, it's all done. No, that was fast. Well done. That was really cool.
If those Scion Flayers were tangling with Rasputin, they are way more powerful than we.
Yeah, I'm not going to use my skeleton key because I want it for the weekly Nightfall strike. I need some better exotics and loot from there, so we'll use it at the end of Nightfall. Well, coming back to a friend about Elden Ring, there are some really good streamers on Twitch doing the game, and I've had some of them on my list, so you can just have a look at some of the people who I follow, and you know, you can you actually see who I follow? I'm not sure, and you'll be able to pick up on some of the stuff they offer on the streams. There's one female streamer. She's based in the US, and she does Elden Ring as a cosplayer. You know, she sort of plays, puts on the costumes for the game, and yeah, it's very funny and very entertaining. Highly recommend it. But then there are very many streamers out there doing lots of different games. The vast majority gravitate towards AAA blockbusters. You know, you go to some of the obscure games. I've done introductions of the new indie titles on Xbox 3 years ago, and absolutely nobody watched. Nobody was interested, and that's a terrible shame, because some of those games are really delightful. I really applaud Xbox for introducing independent section on the Game Pass and generally promoting the indie games all the time, because some of those games are done on the budget, but the actual playability and the quality is absolutely outstanding. So I can't really recommend them high enough. Just see the game I played the other day. I want to recommend it to everyone. Pick it up on the app, because I play, you know, root games, so it's always a bit difficult to remember every single title, particularly if it's new. And this game is
Remember Omnigul? Hive General with a lovely voice? She's back.
Vanguard scouts report she's
Dordogne, or Dordogne, if you are to pronounce it in the French way.
Eris would tell you.
Absolutely recommend the game. It's terrific. It's called Dordogne, right? D-O-R-D-O-G-N-E. I'll write it down here. Hang on my What's happened?
He stays dead. I wonder if the Hive think that about us.
To the Hive, death is relative. We'll face Omnigul as many times as it takes.
Guess we were made for each other.
There, you can double check. You can access it on, well, any platform. Well, I mean, you can, hang on. I'm just losing picture in here by the looks of it. What is happening? Why is there no picture?
Be ready for anything. The Hive and Fallen here are more desperate than they've ever been.
I do apologize. I need to find out what's going on. Why is I can't see anything? I see, there was a glitch. I apologise. Okay, we're all good. I just want to say to our friend, I have given you the title. It's called Dordogne. It's pronounced like it's a French word. Yeah, it's a town in France. A beautiful game. A beautiful game. Which is a bit like point and click, and looks like someone painted it, like a watercolor based game, and a really good story. You have this girl who's exploring the past related to her grandmother and her family. Just wonderful, you know. I really would wish for many people to pop in and play such games more frequently, also for the streamers to be, because if they're not introducing any of the games through Twitch streams, then, you know, the games will be still platform based and a bit more obscure. Suddenly I'm incredibly hungry, but you know what, yesterday I had a real treat. I cooked a big roast beef joint, and did it with boiled and roast potatoes, then with some parsnips, and then with some salad, with some chutney, with some cranberry. Oh, it was absolutely wonderful. It was a really good piece of beef as well, which I really enjoyed. Hang on a minute. So I had a fantastic dinner. There we are, friends. All good, all good, all good. I need to get some ammunition. It's a bit rusty in there. I forgot to, yet again, load my synths. I have so many synths that got to be used more frequently. So for instance him, this wizard, easily destroyed in here with my bug drinker. Yeah, these splicer shanks got to be destroyed immediately because they're like snipers. They're really bad. Well done. Another one. Sniping at me. Yeah, you see. Unless we eliminate these, thank you, shanks, they'll, you know, they'll destroy us all. They're very, very dodgy.
Guardian, you remind me of. Well,
okay, that's sorted. That's good.
That was a lifetime ago.
I'm sure Shax hasn't forgotten. He still has trouble sitting.
Yep, these are all eliminated, so that's good. We'll carry on. I was telling you about my dinner. Cooked like a beautiful roast beef dinner, and everything was so incredibly tasty. I really enjoyed it. I've not had this roast beef dinner at home for some time, for excuse me, for various reasons. And the one yesterday was just really truly amazing. And then I watched football as well. It was Nations League final, and it was a terrific game. That was a real thriller. Extra time, penalties, you name it. So it was a wonderful, wonderful Sunday for me. Sunday has got to be a very relaxing, very enjoyable day. Different to any other day. I got loads of these. Look at them. No, 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 no. You're not gonna explode on me. Definitely not. Oh, look at him. It's running around like crazy, not knowing where to go. Yep, that's right, the Shriek is our #1 target. Yep. The ship got me, boys. It was the ship. Our friend Nemo.
Now that you're all warmed up, let's find Omnigul.
I hate this gas. That gas is so disabling, because once you get in the gas you can't jump, you can't run, you can't do anything. And Omnigul is the character that masters this gas. So I played Omnigul Strike a couple of days ago. It's this weekly Nightfall, and we struggled a bit, I've got to say. We got killed quite a few times, myself and our Finnish friend Sekapupu. Anteater. What is that supposed to be? Another... lost my stream there. What's happening? Oh. Stream's back. There's a bit of a delay, really. Be more significant
Omnigul is back
than
for a
usual.
reason, and it's not just a yell, though she does seem fond of that.
Oh, go on, give me a break in here. Well, that's annoying. That's annoying. Because our friends really race towards the boss. And I always like to clean up the ads here.
Eliminate her, Guardian.
See if I can pick up more ammunition, but it's still on a cooldown. Yeah, I got some ammunition, okay. I like to get rid of his ads. Because if you are after pinnacle weapons, there are several things, several activities in here that you need to be grinding with your buddies in order to get them. So it's very, very important to remember that. It gets very, very busy. There we are. That's all sorted. Nice and easy. Well, this is Omnigul, but this is not the weekly Nightfall Strike, so... Well, our friend got hit. Oh, that Olga got me. Why was that? Was that red bar or yellow bar logo? I didn't really pay attention, but thank you. Oh, he died. Okay. No, I got killed. It's the one on top. Look at him. He's still not gone. Why? Why is he still not gone? God, I don't believe it. Well, that's not gonna work. Well, I'll let our friends to be tackling the boss, and I'll do the ads. Come on. I think I hit there. Okay. Well, that ogre's a bit too powerful. No, that'd be a bit tricky. Okay, that's good. Well done, boys. Thank you. It's the gas. It's the gas. Look at that gas. Yeah, the ogre was really menacing in there. Careful, they'll explode. Oh, look at this gas. The gas is gonna kill me. I couldn't walk because of the gas. Oh, I need to... that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. That is not what we wanted to see. Wow, why? It's really weird because when I jumped, the spin didn't work, and the spin should have worked. I know why. It's because of the gas. He still didn't go. Ah. That's ridiculous. Look at that. Two of them. Two of us. Careful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's nearly the end of me. It's close. It's red bar ogre. Look at this ogre. Finally, the ogre's gone. Okay, so that's sorted. What about Omnigul? What sort of flight does she have? Don't see anything. Yeah, that's always the same thing, you know. The exploding thralls really are so deadly. Unless you jump immediately, then you get killed by them.
There are no further
But we
traces of
completed.
Hive.
That's good.
Well, if she comes back, so will we.
We completed. So that's good. I'm happy.
Didn't have to lift a finger.
You should tell me.
This was just the Seaver strike. It wasn't the weekly nightfall. The weekly night was a lot harder than this. Also with Omnigul, it's the same strike. We've done it once this week, so I'll see whether anybody else wants to join us. And then we can do another nightfall. It's so hot in here still. You know, we're expecting some showers and some thunderstorms, and nothing materialized in our local area, so we're absolutely gutted. And yesterday when I cooked my roast beef, it became so hot in here with my TV set and everything. It was just like really, it wasn't just that beef cooking, it was myself too. And the night was also very, very warm. I don't know what's going on really with the temperatures. It's so hot so early here in our local area. We don't really get this usually. I'm just a bit worried what August is going to be like. Maybe if we get it really very hot very early, we'll have somewhat cooler summer with a bit of rain. And as we are on 4 rivers, it gets very damp, so the actual heat is quite unbearable. It's unlike when you are in some nice areas where you have like dry heat. This is nothing like it. You can't breathe, you know, it's so humid, damp, wet, polluted. With the heat, very polluted air from London comes our way as well, which makes it more difficult. And enjoy my evening strolls, but if
We've got to flush
we
the
get like
flames
25 degrees at night, which wasn't the case last night. Last night was about 17. Then you know, and not as pleasant as it could be. You don't feel refreshed at all. Well, I don't.
According to Vanguard reports from Cade, the Scion flares are already at the top of the Dust Palace. We better move.
That's weird. My spin is being delayed. Maybe it's my controller, I don't know. You get sometimes with gamers where you're racing towards the boss, they want to speedrun and finish the whole thing as soon as possible. And I'm not that keen on this, I'm afraid. But then, again, if we got people who are doing it, we need to be supporting the team effort, right? And these two chaps are together. It's a duo and I just joined them. These are fast, this science. Special ammunition. That was a miss. Where has he gone? Oh, there. Okay. Still have plenty of sins to use. Why not use them if all of them are available? Just remember to do this in Destiny 1. Something we do not have in the sequel. Yeah, he's using Dark Drinker too. I realise how powerful it is. If you don't destroy these blights, then they'll respawn taken. So, you know, remember that. Well, he thinks he's the governor. But, guess what? Taught a lesson. I'm the governor, he says. Oh, I'm the governor. Oh, look at him. I don't understand as to why I'm being killed so easy. Something must be wrong with my internet connection. That's really odd. And also my spin doesn't seem to work. Don't know why. You can tell that our friends there have been doing this strike a million times. They really they're not everything. taking a while. Sublime Engram. I wonder what I'm going to be getting on this Engram. Oh, I missed it all. Missed it all. Oh, this is the best solution. It's weird, but Dark Drinker doesn't seem to be performing in here. I keep pressing the R2 button and it's not spinning. Don't know what's going on. Look, now it's spinning, but when engaging enemies, it just seems to be. You see this? That's weird. That's not something I'm expecting. It's like a massive big lag. Don't know why. Shouldn't be happening in here. But then we've seen some strange things happen in Destiny 1 as it's no longer properly maintained. Obviously they have reset and do a bit of maintenance, but it's nowhere near as good as it should be. Well, that's regular. Well, that was close. Astonished myself, really. Probably still on a cooldown. Oh, alright. I'm not. That's the idea. Two of us attacking the same Scion. And then... Okay, good. Well, that was so easy. That was just literally pedestrian.
If those Scion flayers were tangling with Rasputin, they are way more powerful than we realize. We better keep an eye on where the Cabal deploy those things. Who knows what their minds can do?
That ship shouldn't be coming. Looks like our friends have gone. Let me see, hang on. Curious to see whether yeah, I did actually. I enabled some perks, so that's looking good. Right, we'll have a bit of a break in here. Do a bit of admin, go back to Reef, and actually go to the tower. Upgrade options. So this would be increased strength, keep increased discipline. So it looks beautiful really on my arm. a nice new exotic gauntlet. This one we don't need. Maybe we'll get an exotic in here. It's Sublime Engram. Maybe, we'll see. You never know. And then this one is... looks like this one is going to be Masterworks now. Let's see. Okay, so we'll go and check out the engram. See whether we're getting any joy.
What do you have for us, Hunter?
Some money. This one. Do wager. It's not good. Let's see. Long Tomorrow 9G. That's not it. That's not something I was really looking forward to, because sometimes we get exotics, and you know, I wanted to try and see whether this time would be a bit more fortunate, but that's not happened. On my stream I played Destiny probably for more than 2,000 hours over the last 5 years, and the other day when I was doing admin I realised there are lots of different bits of armour and weapons that I've not acquired yet. So, you know, if you're obviously doing it with your squad and you are, I guess, target based in terms of what you're doing with the game, then you can pick up all of these. But I just, you know, on a community based channel, I don't think I played Destiny outside of my stream at all. It was just literally every single time on the stream, and there is still a lot to do. So I keep talking how we are here to help others, in order to oh, I see, that's this bit here, hang on. Yeah, that's right, I remember that. Yeah, I keep talking how we are here to help others to collect certain items and all this, but I keep forgetting that I've got to do the same. Probably with some help from my community members. Obviously we've gone for the best weapons and exotic weapon and armor quests, but there are still some to be picked up, and Nightfall strikes sometimes provide really good loot, as well as raids. Something to keep in mind. Alright, so what do we do next? Let's have a look at our bounties. We completed everything. Well, not everything, but Sivas. Reputation up, Modes of Light, Engram encrypted. Okay, we can go to our friend and pick up a few more. Do some Vanguard strikes instead, actually. We've done Sivas all along, keep getting the same strikes. If they're not properly maintained, then we keep getting the same strikes sometimes again and again. The other day we were doing Sepix Prime continuously. It was just nothing else but Sepix on Sivas. I like that. Sweeping the leaves. Well done.
Once you have it, you won't know how you...
Back to Master Rahul.
The Slayer of Oryx, then?
Yes, that's right. Slayer of Oryx. Indeed, that is me. This one out. This one out.
Come back if you learn anything of interest.
Let me think. Yeah, we'll go to Vanguard Strikes. See what the game's going to give us. Let's see. Look at the view. Enjoy the view. Think of the loved ones, places you kind of love the most, and then you depart for another battle. This is what every warrior does. And guess what? we do that exactly the same as if we were in real life. The only difference here is this is a video game, so we're always going to come back, which is both rewarding and soothing compared to the way things are if you're out there preparing for a real battle, as we've seen in many world conflicts. Sadly, many of those boys and girls do not come back home. I think we all need to remember that. I need to have some water because I'm getting a bit hot in here. It's very easy to get dehydrated when it's hot. Let me see. Mind you, why not do some Crucible afterwards, just to polish it all off before the end of the stream? Not done any Crucible at all since we resumed. Yeah, I know why, because the queue there is almost infinite. So that's Seabus, Vanguard Legacy, Taken More Strike List. Okay, try that. Maybe we'll get a few strikes. Vanguard strikes as well, I guess. Right, just bring it on. Let's crack on with some more action. When I woke up it was cloudy and I prayed for that rain, and as the day wore on became very sunny and very hot yet again. What can I tell you? Well, looks like I'll be doing this solo. No one's joining me. And as we've seen with our
The Black Garden may not stay among us for long. Something has begun to repair the schism torn by its... Vex now flood the garden channels to protect it. We must stop the Weavers before they seal the garden and begin to summon back its heart.
I like it better when it's dead.
I do apologize for this. I have to be reconnecting the charger to my laptop, which is my secondary at the moment, because guess what, the battery in the laptop does not seem to last for too long. Probably need to buy a new one. I keep saying to everyone, remember to load your synth, and I keep forgetting it. Well, say no more. Not taking any damage at all. Oh, that's because I'm too far, I guess. What else? The sniper is killing me. Okay, that worked. Okay. So that's all sorted. Let's get these. You see, I keep forgetting that in Destiny 1, if you tether the enemies, you got to hit them individually. In the sequel, it's a lot easier because once you're firing, you get to eliminate everyone. Hurry up. That worked. That's good. Right, so we need to push forward, I think, because these guys are going to be respawning in here indefinitely. Well, say no more. Yep, that's right. That'll be easier now. Get to the next one. Missed it. Now I need to get to the third one. This is the wrong place, actually. Nope, that's right. It's gonna get me in here if I'm not careful. Yeah, so that's results. Okay. Reach the mines. This was tricky. Nearly got killed in here. Terrible. Queen's Eye I completed, that's pretty good. Yeah, he's taking far too many pills. What he is. This is a strike, from what I can see. Picked up some ammunition, so that's good. Ah. The key there was to eliminate the wizards as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, and need to change things a bit there. I need to pick up a good Galahorn, I think. Yep, that'll do it. Use a synth. Get fully loaded. That's annoying. It's the easiest way, but I don't have any grenades, so... Okay, super's charged, so that will make it easier for me. Yep. We have somebody else coming in, that's good. Let me see if he's joining us as quickly as possible. Yes, hit 2 people even, that's going to be much easier for us to complete then. Surprise is having no effect. Okay. Quite good to see that our friends are joining us there. That's really weird. Did you not see that? He looked like a friendly. Seriously glitched thingy. But how was this possible? Somebody to be a teammate and look like a Minotaur? Just didn't seem to gel. Yeah, turn around. No, I didn't manage to do that. That was alright. Then Galahorn worked.
The Black Garden remains here among the light. But the Vex will never cease until their birthplace is restored. And we must keep it here until we can understand its origins.
Alright, we are departing from this activity. We'll just do another strike and then we'll call it a day for today. So, hope you enjoyed what you've seen so far. It's been definitely very enjoyable for me. And we've done some sealers, some vanguards, bit of activity in here. Faster complete. And fairly good teammates, I've got to say. People who've come in, the randoms, were really experienced and we completed everything. The only slightly more difficult one was the Omnigul strike on the Seavers. That was causing us some concerns, but generally everything was hunky-dory. Just literally walk through it.
The Taken King is dead.
Lots of people tell you that the strikes in the original game, Destiny 1, are a lot better, harder, more enjoyable than the ones in the sequel. But I always say that the sequel is all about the variety. You can have so many different things to do at any time, and you can just choose the type of gameplay that is more applicable to your game style or whatever you want to do with your team. This game is not like this. It's a game with lengthy grinds and slow leveling up and specific tasks. So it will always be playable as a separate entity, and I think people need to conceptualize that. No. We've been here so many times. So I don't actually need that. I need to pick up my sword rather than that.
Anybody home?
Anybody
The
home?
door is sealed with runes. Let's get to work.
Another synth. Yep. Picking up the relic. There are 2 relics in here, and then loads of exploding thralls that come out. So you always need to get your grenade as the gates are opening. These ones are always deadly. Yep. Well, wasting ammunition as our friends are so energetic and eager. So I'll just let them. What else?
Toland hinted at secret pathways between our realm and the Ascendant. Malak crawled through the wall of our world to reach these caverns.
I think she's just being deliberately creepy now.
I nearly jumped in a hole. Well, the path is more than clear.
Beware the Blight, Guardian. Malak's power is absolute here.
The Blight is the black goo, right? What is that stuff anyway?
Darkness, given form by Malak's cruel will.
Why was he resisting for so long? Well, you've seen a glitch where the Minotaur looked like a friendly. It was weird.
Beware, Guardian. The Blight will drain your strength, your speed.
Oh, there
Not
we are.
let Malak dominate this shrine.
We're already there. Trying to think, maybe I'll just put back my Galahorn. So now I put my Crota on. Just a minute. See if I look it. Okay. Yeah, that was
power
good.
of the Blight was impressive. You are a credit to the Tower, Guardian.
Did she just compliment us?
Alright my friends, I think we are coming to the end of our stream for today. A bit of a shorter stream than usual. Usually we have like 4 hours, but today I've been a bit pushed really with everything, and gave you all the news, all the community content. We talked a lot about the questions coming in on Twitter. We had a bit of activity here, and altogether it's been a very, very enjoyable shortish session. I want to thank everyone for supporting the channel and our charitable fundraising campaign. As you know, we are fundraising for a British charity called Mind, and so far it's been very, very successful. We've not had any donations, but people have been sharing the news and talking about Mind and the campaign, so that's been very, very supportive. I really want to thank everyone for doing it. I've seen it on Instagram and Twitter in particular. Liking and sharing has been of great assistance, because obviously the links and everything else that we hear can be then introduced to other people, and they can obviously use them as well. So we'll go back to the tower, complete some of the admin, and then we'll call it a day. And for everyone who's interested, I'll just write this again. If you wish to support the Mind charity, this is a charity that supports people with mental health issues and emotional problems, and the charity has many, many outlets around the country in Britain, and really is fundamental in preserving the health of our people who live in the local communities. And I'll just put the link here on Twitch for people to have a peek and decide whether that's something you are in supporting, or indeed if you're interested in getting involved with the fundraising campaign. So bear with me, I'll type it out, provide you with the link. The link is going to come your way more or less imminently, so just bear with me, I need to dig it up. Also, if you like what you see here, the activities on the channel, our community, our chit-chats, our news, our community content, all that takes place here every day, you can support this channel by tipping, and therefore you will help me to pay all the bills related to the stream. That includes stream elements and the internet connection and everything else. This channel is totally self-funded and it's totally charitable, so there's not any form of money making involved, but any tips will be greatly appreciated. Basically any shillings and pence will help me to run the channel, because guess what, as we carry on the costs are rising just like everything else elsewhere, and any form of support will be greatly appreciated. So let me just give you the link and you'll be able to do that through there if you wish to do so. There's another link which I'm posting, so just bear with me. Tipping. There it is. So if you wish to support our community, you can just tip there by clicking on a link, and you get all the information, as well as if you wish to support our fundraising campaign in order to donate, or if you want to get involved, promote it, or do anything else, click on a link. You'll get information on the charity, which is MindGK. You will get further information on myself as a streamer and all that's associated with this channel, and then there is also everything about Tiltify. Tiltify is the platform that supports charitable fundraising and making sure that everything is as it should be. I don't really have much to do with any transactions. It's all to do with Tiltify, and Tiltify is a company that I recommend to everyone in view of what they've done in recent years in relation to fundraising, because they improved all that's been offered tremendously, and everything is really kind of tied in with a proper everyday gamer mindset. So it's truly wonderful, and it will really help many people to understand what charitable fundraising is about, and also, most importantly, through the donations, these charities are going to be massively assisted. And as you know, many of these private companies that work in order to provide the good to the people in our local communities will be then able to fund their resources, be it technical or human or any other. And you will know that every single charity is very much stretched on the financial front due to the way they operate, and any form of support will be always greatly appreciated, not just by those people who work for charities, they're professional volunteers, but also particularly by the people who are the service users, because don't forget, those people do require that sort of assistance, and the help which is received is then saving lives. So everyone who gets involved is then an active member in that process, which means by contributing, by promoting, by donating, you also are helping lives to be saved. Remember that. That's extremely important for everyone to understand. So thank you very much for watching the channel. Thank you very much for watching the stream. Thank you for supporting the channel and our charitable fundraising. I shall wish you all a very, very good night, and I shall see you all tomorrow.